Samuel from Zambia. Another Samuel, wow, from Nigeria. So Dr. Doa is asking, when do we start? So when do we start? Can we let Dr. Doa know? What time do we start? Hi to Akim from Nigeria. Hidego from Jakarta. Not quite, Faith, not quite. We start in about 12 minutes, which is actually 9:30 UK time. You can see that on the screen just now. We start at 9:30 UK time, which is about 12 minutes from now. Dr. Doa, I hope that answers your question. You asked about it being 60 minutes. Yes, it's 60 minutes long. Hi to Bitia from Indonesia, Desmond in Nigeria, Vivian from Ghana, Camila from Italy, and Wunmi from Mozambique. Welcome to you all. So today's focus, you'll see on your screen already, is writing task 2. How do you feel about this part of the IELTS test? Hi, Angel from Cameroon. When we get started today, we'll be looking at this in a bit more detail. Dr. Doa, you're asking, is it going to be recorded and sent to your email? Yes, it will be. So you'll hear when we get started in about 10 minutes from now, you'll hear the recording begin. And that's to enable us to send you the link to that recording. Okay, so Faith, you're saying the most challenging aspect for you, not just because of idea generation, but also for supporting examples. You raise a really good point there, Faith, about the importance of supporting our ideas. So yes, we need to generate some ideas that we know we can write about, but make sure that we are supporting any of our arguments, maybe with examples or reasons, or describing the impact of those ideas. We'll maybe have a look at that today. Hello, Alice from Uganda. Welcome. So we'll get started in just under 10 minutes time. If you're just getting logged in, don't worry, you're not missing anything. We're just doing our introductions, which I think is an important part. So if you can, do head over to the chat box, and please notice if you've been here before, there's something different that we're going to try out today, and that is having the chat box open, meaning that you'll be able to see other people's responses and they can read yours. We'll see how we got on today, but we might ask you before we finish your opinion on that change. If it gets too busy and we end up crashing out, which happened a couple of years ago when we first started doing these webinars and we had everything open, we crashed out of Zoom. If that ever happens again, just come back. That's all we're going to do, is just come back. Anyway, I'll give you more information about that, another reminder of that when we get started and when everybody's here. But for now, I want to say hello to Lily from Ghana, Imani from Algeria, and Mercy from Zambia. Hi to Carmen from Spain and Ashish in India. Kalachu is joining from Ethiopia. Hello to you. In India, we have Gail, and Esra is joining from Sudan. Mohammed from Pakistan and Christina from Spain. Hello to you. Hello to Kemi from Abidjan and Venus in the UAE. Niasha from Zimbabwe and Maximus from Denmark. Hello to you. Haley from Hong Kong. Deborah from Ghana. Look at all of these wonderful countries. Yaman from Yemen. Going by really quickly now. Welcome. Some of you are saying this is your first time joining. Fantastic. I'm so glad that you've found us. Mojgan is joining from Malaysia. Kanitha from Cambodia. Ayush from Nepal. Hello to Logina from Egypt. And to Carmen from Germany. Dima is joining from Jordan. And Shireen from Egypt. Hi to Hashimu from South Korea. Dick joining from New Zealand. Wow, to the other side of the country. Sorry, the other side of the globe. Hi to Tina from Iran. Zo is in Myanmar. Oh, sorry, you're from Myanmar, but you're working in Singapore. Wow, thank you so much for all these lovely hellos. If you want, you can find your country's flag, you can look at the emojis, you can send me how you're feeling today before we get started in about 7 minutes from now. I want to keep going with the hellos to Zubair from Pakistan, Christelle from Philippines, Shalin from Kenya, Terence from Sri Lanka, Salman from Pakistan. Okay, I'm beginning to see some emojis coming through now. Great that you've found them. They're a great way to let us know how you're feeling about this webinar and about your IELTS test. Salman from Pakistan, I'm not sure if I mentioned your name, but hello, and hello to Mahmood from Malaysia, Alice in Uganda. Thank you, Farid, for the huge love from Azerbaijan. Syed Sam from Iran. Salman, I'm doing great, really super pleased, super pleased to be here. Farid's found the flag for Azerbaijan, well done. Henrietta, joining from Nigeria, and Mercy in South Africa. Imani from Algeria, and Debbie from Ghana. Taiwo from Nigeria. Zo, thank you so much for spending this time with us, with what you're going through at the moment. So thank you so much for carving out a bit of space, a bit of time to spend with us. We appreciate that. Hi to Janice in the Philippines and Maria in the UK, but much further south than me. Maria's in Kent. Hello to Loic from Togo, Estella from Nigeria, Tunde also from Nigeria, Fatima from the Philippines. Great. So Angel's saying that they're really excited to be here because it's your first time here. Hello to Bibek from Nepal, Maria, from Kent. Thank you so much, Janet from Ghana. I'm doing great. I'm super excited to be here with you today and really keen to hear all about you and to see a bit of your writing as well. Hello to Muna from Nigeria. Hi, Cleopatra. Mabel from Ghana, Saif from Pakistan. Nayin Su, I'm going to need your help with the country's flag. I'm so sorry, I'm not great at identifying flags, I'll be honest. I think I've managed 2 so far, just out of sheer luck today, but you might need to help me with your country's flag. Hey, Mabel, thanks for that. John is in Almaty in Kazakhstan. Hi to Stella and Claudio from Bucharest. Hi, Benaz, Etumni, Dari. Hello to Yusuf. Okay, thank you. It's the Myanmar flag. Thank you. Hello to Kudzai, Anissa. Hi to Noor from Lebanon, but living in Qatar. Edmund and Usha, both from France, and Gilang from Indonesia. Oh, what a lot of lovely names and lovely countries represented today. I'll be back with another reminder of time in just a minute or so. Hi to Shainur from Bangladesh. Hi, Steve. And Oksana from Russia. Hello to you. Hello to Viola Viola from Germany. Chitima from Zambia. Glad to be here. Hello to everyone. Thank you so much. Also want to say hello to Aswani in India, Tumi from Ethiopia, Rawan in Saudi Arabia. And with just over 2 minutes to go, if you've not heard your name read out, do head to the chat box and say hello to us. You'll notice in the chat box that now we've set the settings for today to everyone, which means that everybody can read your messages and you can read other people's messages as well. We're trying this out today. We're going to see how it goes. We will probably ask for your feedback before we finish. Where were we? We've got Fiona from the UK. Hi, Fiona. Isaac from Azerbaijan. Grace in Nigeria. Matilda from England. Angelina from Armenia. Zeki from Turkey. Hello to Aruna and Kevin, Faisal, Harune, Eunice, Chioma, Thomas. Welcome back, Saide. Nice to have you back. Hello to Alan in China. Violetta from Venezuela. Amal in London. Andrea in Italy. Benaz, welcome. Hello to Rasika, also from Italy. And hello to Maria. We'll start in just under 2 minutes, Salman. We start at exactly 9:30 UK time. So we're going to wait for everybody to join us at that time, and then we'll get started. Hi to Assad and Madiha. Hello to Bashir. Great, Eunice, you're very welcome. I'm so pleased that you're able to join us today. Thank you, Mariam, for the lovely flower, the red rose. And hello to Arsalan from the UK. Okay, so we're just about to get started. If you've been listening to all of these names, all of these countries, you've not heard your name, please head over to the chat box to say hello. Aniruddha, hello. Aful, Mutaz, Winifred, Lowell, Larsa, Sidika, Hillary, hello to all of you. Thank you for those hellos in the chat box. Hi to Linda and Nuruddin as well. And Dimitrios joining us from Greece.
Recording in progress.
So that's my signal to get started. You can see this meeting is now being recorded. My name is Daniela. I'm an IELTS teacher and IELTS teacher trainer, and I'll be the one leading today's session on IELTS writing tasks to Coherence and Cohesion. I'm leading, but this entire webinar is supported by the team of IELTS teachers and teacher trainers. So can we also say hello to Leila in London, Mariana in Zagreb, Croatia. Sarah is joining us from Paris, France. Yasser is in New Delhi in India. And also in the UK, we've got Aidan in Wales. So say hello to the rest of the team, and we're going to ask you a question. So the next poll question, the first poll question of today is, have you taken the IELTS test already? And what score do you need? You'll see this appears as a poll on your device. If you're not able to see it, you may need to look at the more button, if we can call it that, the icon that says more. So try to answer on the poll. If not, you can answer in the chat. Okay, I'll just give you another 10 seconds or so to answer the poll. There we go, and let's have a look at the results. Okay, so we've got a number of you preparing to sit IELTS for the first time. 82% of you have yet to sit IELTS for the first time, but a few of you have sat the test already. You're perhaps preparing to sit it for a higher band score. And the band scores that we need, well, we can see we've got a variety here of scores, but the majority above a band 7. Okay. Thank you for that. Just a reminder, though, that these webinars are for everyone. Whether you're aiming for a band 4 or a band 9, you will get something from these webinars. Okay, the next poll question, please, is about these webinars. Have you been here before? Have you attended a British Council IELTS webinar before? And how did you hear about the webinar? How did you hear about it? So you can let us know on the poll, ideally, or in the chat. Thanks, Dima. Thanks, Christiana. Lakshmi, you might need to log out and log back in again if you're having difficulty. One of the team will help you with that. Okay, let's have a look at the results of that second poll question. Okay, right, great. The majority of you have been here before, so welcome back. I do recognise a number of names. But to those of you joining us for the first time, welcome. We're going to give you some information about what to expect in this webinar in just a moment's time. Great to see that you're using the British Council website to keep up to date about the webinars. And finally, the last poll question at this stage is about the self-study pack. You'll have noticed that when you register for these webinars that you're automatically registered for the BC British Council IELTS study pack. So we're interested in finding out if you have received it or not, and if you have, did you find it useful? Are you finding it useful? Let us know in the poll, or if the poll doesn't appear for you, you can continue using the chat box. Right, let's have a quick look at those results. Great. Thanks, Melita. We can see that those who are using the study pack are finding it useful. So do make sure that you're registered for it. Mariana's posting the link for you now in the chat box. So this webinar lasts for 60 minutes, including time for your questions. And this chat box I have open throughout those 60 minutes because this is where I'm looking for your answers to my questions. The chat box today we've set open to everyone, which means you can see people's answers and they can read yours. This sometimes puts a bit of pressure on Zoom. So I'm only saying this because it happened a couple of years ago, if for any reason we crash out, just come straight back in. Hopefully we won't. The Q&A is the button to use the space to ask your questions. It does get quite busy, so if someone has already asked a question that you wanted to ask, like it, and we'll prioritise those questions. The webinar is being recorded so that Zoom can automatically email you within 3 days with the link. We're not able to answer questions about your own test booking, so do contact your local British Council test centre about them. Now, this becomes very important today. Now that we've got the chat box open to everyone, we need to be very careful about the type of information that we're sharing. So do not at any point share any personal information. No phone numbers, no WhatsApp groups. This is not the place for them. If we see anything like that, we will have to exclude you from the webinar, which we really do not want to do. So keep your own information private. Let's get started. Today we're looking at writing task 2 with a focus on coherence and cohesion. We're going to work through the stages of writing an introduction and main body paragraphs before finishing with Q&A, some questions from you, and resources. I've done enough speaking for now. Over to you in the chat box, please. Tell me, what type of writing is task 2? In the chat box, what type of writing? Thanks, Faith. Thanks, Viola, Claudio. Absolutely. It is, of course, an essay. Are you given a choice of essay question? Are you able to choose the question to answer? Absolutely, you're right again. So you're given a specific question and you must write an essay in response to that question. What's the recommended time? How long do we recommend that you spend on task 2? Well done, Farid, Beth. Francesca, a little bit longer. It's actually 40 minutes. Why do you think we recommend you spend 40 minutes on task 2? Why do you think? Because of the word count, Viola says, but a couple of you have identified it. Task 2 is worth double the amount of marks of task 1. because task 1 is worth 1/3 of your total writing band score, and task 2 is worth 2/3. So it just makes sense that we spend double the amount of time on task 2. And finally, what is the word count? What should you aim to write? Absolutely. Beth says 250 words or more. You're right, it's a minimum of 250 words. We actually encourage you to write more than that. Is there a penalty for going over 250? Salman, this is what we're doing now. No, there's no penalty. So it's a good idea to write more than 250. What about how it's marked? What can you tell me about how your writing is marked? Let's start with the criteria. How many criteria are there? Faith says 4. Good. There are 4 criteria. Do you know what they are? Can anybody tell me what they are? We're looking at one today. That's right. We're looking at coherence and cohesion today. What else do you think there might be that the examiner looks at? Grammar, vocab. Zikra, you're saying task achievement, but actually, if I show you, for task 2, it's called task response. Task achievement is absolutely right for task 1, but the first criterion is task response. It's called something different because it's a different type of writing. Here, you're writing a much more subjective, much more personal response to the question. So we can see on your screen, these are the 4 criteria that the examiner is going to look at in detail. This document is exactly what the examiner uses to give your writing a band score. A band score you can see on the side, we've got ranges from 9 all the way down to a band score of 1. But you'll notice that I'm not able to fit it all on my screen because the band descriptors are so comprehensive. There's so much information here. Why is this useful information for us? Why is this useful information for you? As a guide, good. Marta says to know what to write. As a reference, Francis says. An overlook of what to write, knowing what the examiner's looking for. Exactly. We think this is so important that we're going to give you some homework. Mariana's posting in the chat box now a link to this document. And if you haven't done so already, I'd like you to look at this document after today's webinar, find your band score, and identify what do you need to do in each of the 4 criteria for that band score. Do you agree? Do you accept the homework? Let me know in the chat. Oh, it's gone quiet. Yes, accepted. Thank you. I've got lots of yes, and I've got some okays. Yeah, a lot of my students feel that way about homework. What's our focus? Which of the criteria are we going to focus on today? Geomat, that's why we've sent you the link to the document yourself. So today we're going to look at the second criterion, which is coherence and cohesion. But let's start with what these words actually mean. What do you think we mean with the word coherence? What does coherence mean? Faith says ideas are related, if the text makes sense. Claudio says it's easy to follow, easy to understand. Very good. Mawson says logical sense, but I'm going to take what Prajkta, I'm trying to pronounce your name, please forgive me, has said, because I completely agree with this. The idea of a logical flow. I'm showing you a picture of a river. How would you describe this river? How would you describe the river? Curvy. Okay, good. Flowing naturally. Great, Beth. It's a long, winding river. Absolutely. So if we were to travel along this river, we would need someone to guide us. We would need a captain of a ship, the river pilot, that guides a boat safely through a winding river like this one. In an essay, coherence is that captain. Coherence is like a clear guideline which helps the reader to follow your thought processes, follow the arguments that you make. That's what we mean when we talk about coherence. What do we mean when it's cohesion, by cohesion? What do you think? Faith says using cohesive devices, Zikra says linking words, joining ideas, solidarity. Well, again, I want to show another picture. What's this a picture of? A wall, good. Piled bricks, a brick wall, absolutely. What's stopping this brick wall from falling down? What's stopping it from falling down? The cement, okay. Cement or mortar, the adhesive, absolutely. So the cement, the mortar, the adhesive that holds the bricks together in writing is the words and expressions, like cohesive devices, the linking expressions that bind your writing together. So let's look at the actual criterion. And I want you to find your band. Again, because there's so much information, I can't fit it all on my screen. So find the closest band. If you're looking for a band 9, look at 8 now. If you're aiming for a band 4, look at 5 now. But what I'd like you to do is look at your band score, or the nearest to your band score, and identify some of the key words for you. Let me know in the chat box, what are the key words at your band? Okay, Mariella says logically sequenced, paragraphing, lots of logical coming through, paragraphing, good. Anything else? Referencing and substitution, organization, very good. Thanks, Fatima says cohesive devices, logically sequenced. Okay, so we're noticing some patterns here. We're noticing some key elements across all of the bands. We can break this down into 5 key elements. A lot of you mentioned logical organization. Mercy, clear progression, clear progress, absolutely. Most of you mentioned paragraphing, very important. Of course, the use of cohesive devices, that mortar, that adhesive that holds our writing together. And this final one, a couple of you mentioned, referencing and substitution. This is what we're going to look at today in a lot more detail. But let's start with a question. Because coherently answering the tasks mean that we need to fully understand what the task is. This is an example of a task 2 question on your screen. I'm just going to give you it again, this time in colour. And together we're going to break down what each sentence represents. So can we get the next poll question, please? Tell me in the poll, what does the blue sentence represent? That's the first sentence. Is it the type of essay, one side of the argument, the topic of the essay, or the other side of the argument. Ideally, tell me in the poll. If not, you can do it as Faith is doing. Tell me in the chat. Number 2, what does the red sentence represent? The type of essay, one side of the argument, the topic of the essay, or the other side. Number 3, what does the green sentence represent? And number 4, what does the black bold sentence represent? Thanks, Faith. Okay, I'll give you another 10 seconds to finish putting your answers in the poll. Well done, Faith. You've got it all right. Okay, let's have a look at the answers to that. And we'll also look on the slide. So most of you identified 73% that the first in blue is the topic. And today the topic is children in employment. The red sentence, absolutely well done everybody, is one side of the argument. Reasons why children doing paid work is wrong. You did well with the next one as well. 75% of you identified the green sentence is the other side of the argument, which is why it's valuable work experience, important for learning and taking responsibility. And then, really importantly, and I'm really pleased that so many of you identified this correctly, the last part is, of course, the type of question. In the chat box, tell me, what type of question is this? Yes, Kavindri, you're going to get the recording of this one. Faith, you're saying it's a discussion. Fatima's saying the same. Sushil, a discussion. Be careful, a lot of you are saying it's an opinion essay. Is it only asking for your opinion? Is it only asking, Camila, for your personal opinion? What must you include? What must you include? You must include 2 views. Where are you getting the views from? Where are you getting both views from? The question. Absolutely, Marta. So it's essential that we pay attention to that. What type of question is it? What type of essay am I expected to write? And here it's a discussion. Discuss both these views. So it's a 2-sided argument. You must discuss both sides and you must give your opinion. So we've identified what the question's asking us. We've broken down the question. We understand what it's about. What should we do next before we start to write? What should we do next? Brainstorm, prepare. Saide, brainstorm. So let's do that. I'm using a table because we have to discuss both views. There are 2 views to discuss. What was the first viewpoint? Tell me in the chat, what was the first viewpoint? The first viewpoint that we're expected to discuss. Mariella, when it's completely wrong. Okay, so this is the negative viewpoint that we need to generate ideas for. And what was the other viewpoint, the second viewpoint in the essay, in the question? Okay, let's be specific here. Let's remember it specifically. Paid work is valuable work experience for children and is important for learning and taking responsibility. Absolutely, Miriam. Well done. So let's generate ideas. Let's do the negative column first. Tell me, when is it completely wrong for children to do paid work? When do you think it's wrong? Under what circumstances is it wrong? Bernal says when they are minors. A lot of you saying if they're too young. What else? Give me another reason. Because of age, say here, okay? If it's dangerous or if they are exploited, good. Charo says if it affects their education. Okay, very good. If they don't have time to study or if they work long hours. Any other reason? Yes, if they're exploited without a salary, good. It'll distract them. If they don't want to, okay. And here's one, Prince says they're physically immature. So maybe if the work is physically hard or dangerous. Great, I think that's loads of ideas for us to get started. Now we need to think of the other viewpoint, and we need to think of examples of paid work as valuable work experience for children. Can you give me some examples of paid work that is valuable work experience? Beth says household chores. Faith says when they get pocket money. Doing what? Give me an example of a job. Adiga says a summer job, maybe at a summer camp. A lemonade stand, okay? Pet sitting, volunteering, service crew. Okay, so maybe a part-time or a Saturday job to earn pocket money can help young people learn how to deal with people and to do different things. You could also have something like a paid youth apprenticeship scheme that actually helps young people prepare for the job market and may even complement their education. Some of you said they could do things like babysitting or dog walking. What are they learning through that sort of job? Babysitting, dog walking. What do you think? Patience, I agree with you. But absolutely, Francesca, responsibility. They're learning how to take responsibility. Brilliant. We've generated ideas for both viewpoints. Remember what the essay told us to do. It said we need to discuss both views and do what? And do what? What must we also include? Absolutely, our own opinion. Well done, Mariella. So we decide what we're going to say about each side of the argument. So I'm going to talk about why children working for a salary is wrong, if it is exploitative or it deprives them of their childhood or chances in life. For the second side, I'm going to talk about this. By working, children can interact with the wider society, learn to work with others, and develop useful skills. And so my position is going to be that under the right conditions, working can help children learn skills and gain valuable experience for life. Now, I've made all of these decisions before I've even started writing. Why? Why? Good, Marta. Marta says to help with the logical flow of ideas. Eunice says to serve as a guide for me, the writer. Absolutely. To get clarity about my own writing, to organise my writing. Very good. So we prepare all of this in advance so that when we're writing, our focus is on our use of language. We're not worrying about trying to think of ideas at the same time as writing. So it means that our essay follows a logical organisation and clear progression. We plan our essay, the rest of the essay, according to the introduction and our stated position. What does this mean? Well, what are we including in the introduction? Tell me, what should I write in my introduction? Suha, that's a really important question. I'm going to ask you to write it in Q&A because I want to answer that question for everyone. Suha, if you can write it in Q&A. So what am I writing in my introduction? What should be here? Viola says something about the topic. Dari, paraphrase the question. That's exactly it. So a general statement that paraphrases the question and something essential. Something essential that I need to put here. My opinion, my thesis statement, my position. So let's see an example of this. Just to remind you, this is the question on your screen now, and this is the introduction. I'm going to show you a poll question now, and I'd like you to, in this poll question, identify the purpose of each of the sentences. Remember, if the poll question does not appear for you, you can use the chat box to give me your answer. What is the purpose of the first blue sentence? What about the red sentence? What is the purpose of the next one, the green sentence? And finally, the last sentence in black and bold. We've got some options here. Refers to viewpoint 1, presents my position, refers to viewpoint 2, or rephrases the topic. You can tell me in the poll, or you can break it down for me in the chat box. What is the function, the purpose of each of the sentences in my introduction? I'm going to be quiet for a bit to give you time to read and answer. Thank you, Faith and Rima and Maximus. Thank you so much. You're breaking it down. Nolitha too in the chat. Let's have a look at the results of this poll question. So 81% of you identified correctly. This first sentence in blue is, of course, rephrasing the topic, the first sentence of the introduction. Then the next sentence, well done, 74% of you, and those in the chat got this right as well. This is, of course, referring to the first viewpoint of the question. So the green sentence is referring to the second viewpoint. Well done. A lot of you are able to identify this really well. And then finally, and 81% of you got this one right too, this final sentence is presenting my opinion, my position. So that immediately from beginning, the very beginning of my essay, there I am almost taking the examiner's hand, almost taking the reader's hand and guiding them through my essay from the very start. Because even if we just look at the introduction, we're beginning to get a sense of what the rest of the essay is going to look like. What do you think the rest of the essay is going to look like? Tell me your ideas in the chat. What's going to come after the introduction? Let me know your ideas in the chat box. Okay, yes, you're right. Of course you're right. The main body, but let's break it down a little bit more than that. That's it. That's what I'm looking for. Well done. And then what's the rest of the essay going to look like? So we've got our introduction. We've written our introduction, which includes our general statement and thesis statement. And then our first paragraph will deal with the first viewpoint. So we'll give our argument, we'll look at that viewpoint, and we'll provide support for that argument. And this main point is when it's wrong, when paid work for children is wrong. So what do you expect the next paragraph to include? The second viewpoint, which was, good, Ka, well done. Good, one paragraph about the green sentence, absolutely. And the green sentence is, we're all about the opposite perspective, the opposite view, when it's a chance to learn new skills and take responsibility, the beneficial side of it. And of course, we'll finish with what? How do we finish our essay? A conclusion. Good. And what would you include in your conclusion? Yes, your own opinion. What else? A summary, Miriam says. Good. So you include your own thesis statement. You go back to that thesis statement, the opinion statement, rephrase that again, and provide a summary of main points. Great. So we've mapped out our essay. We know what our essay is going to contain and what it's going to look like. And if we are this clear, then so is the examiner. So let's move on to talk about the main body paragraphs. Part of the criteria is that each paragraph should have a clear central topic. So how do we do that? How do we identify the topic of a paragraph? Tell me in the chat box, please. Tidy? Absolutely. With something we call a topic sentence. Here is a paragraph from a completely different essay. But you'll notice the paragraph is missing that. It's missing a topic sentence. The first sentence that lets the reader know what the entire paragraph is about. So I'm going to be quiet, first of all, to let you read the paragraph. Just read. You've got about 35 seconds to read. And now I want you to choose which topic sentence best fits the paragraph. We've got a poll question for this one, so if you can, answer in the poll. If not, just pop your answer in the chat. The only place I cannot see answers is the Q&A, I'm afraid. Okay, I'll just give you another 10 seconds or so to pop your answers either in the poll or in the chat box. And let's have a look at the answers. Thanks, Francis, Christina, Linda. Okay, so 10% of you have chosen A. If you've chosen A, tell me why. Why did you choose camping saves money? Camping saves money for several reasons. Where does the paragraph mention saving money? What does it say? If you've chosen A, you need to support it. Okay, Claudio, thank you. You're saying you've taken much cheaper, and it's also much cheaper than staying in a bed and breakfast, and something about everyone can afford. Not everyone can afford this. There we go. Okay, so it does mention saving money. However, the majority of you chose B. There are several reasons why camping is good for your health. Where is that mentioned? Give me some examples from the paragraph. Stress, okay, relax. Okay. In the first sentence, the fresh air, okay, you're right. But those who chose A, we're also right, because the paragraph doesn't just mention reasons why camping is good for your health, does it? It also mentions reasons that camping saves money. So what do you think is the better choice? A, B, or C? It's C, the more general one, because it's popular for several reasons, not just one, not just for saving money, not just for health benefits, it's for several reasons. So let's put this in the context of our own essay. And if I show you this topic sentence, which paragraph is this taken from our essay? Well done, Marta. So here's a topic sentence. Which paragraph is it taken from? Good, Madonna. Very good, Zikra. Which paragraph, Oksana? Very good. The first main body paragraph, the first viewpoint. It lets us, before we've even read the rest of the paragraph, which isn't even on your screen, you're able to identify what that paragraph's going to be about. Excellent. Are you ready to do a bit of writing on your own now? Do you think you could write a topic sentence? Let me know in the chat box. Maria says yes. Okay, so I'm not asking you to write an entire paragraph because I've done that for you. Which paragraph is this from our essay? Which paragraph is this taken from? The second view, the second main body paragraph, or the third paragraph overall. You're right. But you'll see it's missing a topic sentence. So this is your writing practice for today. You've got 1 minute. I'm going to be quiet for a minute, let you read my paragraph and write your own topic sentence in the chat box, please. Your minute starts now. Okay, let's have a look at some of these lovely sentences that we've got coming through. Keep writing them. Lovely to see that you're beginning your sentences with a good linking word like shakura. However, children should be allowed to take on part-time jobs to boost their self-development, to boost their development. Be careful if you are using a linking expression at the start, you need to be aware of your punctuation. You probably need a comma there. On the other hand, Charos, remember capitalize. I know you're typing quickly for me today, but remember the rules of punctuation. Okay, yeah, Mariella, good, short, to the point, but I still think it needs something to connect your sentence to the previous paragraph. Alina, great. Again, I would add in something to connect the two. Harun, you do need to write a sentence. It's not enough just to write a sort of mini title like that. You do need to write a full grammatical sentence. You're doing really well. Good, Chima, very, very clear and to the point. Lots of people using on the other hand, Yuang, there are some advantages. Great. There are certain advantages. Marta, that's really nice. You've really explained that well. Iman, remember everyone that a topic sentence is still a sentence. It needs to be, needs to have a subject, a verb, maybe an object as well. Very good, Tina. I know you're just giving me the first part of your topic sentence, but it looks like you're starting well. You too, Alina and Alan, sorry. Okay, well done. Here's my example. You'll see that it's very similar to what you've written. Dick, it's almost exactly the same as what you've written. And what do you notice that I've used at the start of my paragraph? What word have I used at the start of my paragraph that a lot of you used? Okay, why have I used however? You're saying it's a linking word. Good. What was the phrase that we saw in the band descriptor? What was it called? It wasn't called a linking word. What was it called? A cohesive device. Good. And what is this cohesive device doing? What's it showing the reader? Mutaz says it's showing contrast. Good. Do all of my cohesive devices, are they all used just to show contrast? Look at the other words in green. No, okay. So give me some other examples and what they're used for. To give examples, good. So our next one is for example, to give examples, as well as, also, in addition. All of these are being used to add more information. So let's just look at how we add more information. Words like also, in addition, furthermore, as may also be the case, as well as, and even and, are cohesive devices that help us to add further information. So let's do a little bit of practice with these types of cohesive devices. You'll see there are 3 sentences on your screen, each sentence missing at least one cohesive device. You need to find 2 cohesive devices. Yeah, Eunice, that's fine. Maybe to describe 2 activities happening at the same time. Great, Eunice. So from the list I've given you on the left, I'd like you to complete sentences A, B, and C. Okay, thank you, Prince. Thanks, Suha. Ernestina, thank you, Larsa. Sushil, thank you, Vaya. Nalitha, thank you. Thank you as well for putting them all together. They're a bit easier for me to check. Mariella, Camilla, and Francesca, thank you. Let's have a quick look at the answers here. I agree with you. Yep, you could have, in B, you could have furthermore. You could have also. I'm just showing you these to show you the range of cohesive devices that you can use for the same purpose. You can use for adding information. Well done if you managed to do this. Well done if you maybe even chose some different ones that work just as well. So for example, Adesola used furthermore in B. So these are cohesive devices for adding information. They also have words and phrases like these that provide a contrast or a contradict connecting phrase. For example, we've already seen how we use however. We use however at the start of a new sentence to contradict or to contrast what's gone before. But now I want us to do one more bit of writing, please. I want you to take the ideas, those two sentences on your screen about nuclear energy, and I want you to write them again in one sentence, beginning with this, although. So you're going to rewrite these two sentences, combine the two ideas together in one sentence, and begin that sentence with the cohesive device, although. I'm going to give you time to type a full sentence for me, please, in the chat box. Excellent, Faith. Well done. Very good punctuation. Okay. Just to remind you this, I think I accidentally added in a comma and I shouldn't have. That was my fault. So you're using although at the start of your sentence. Very good, Olga. Very good punctuation. Just don't forget your final full stop. I know it's difficult when I'm asking you to type so quickly, but don't forget the basic rules. Full stops at the end of sentences. Very good. Well done, Alan, Harune, Olivia, well done. And I'm so pleased to see everybody really knows their punctuation. Because yes, we're separating the two ideas with a comma. So we've got, although nuclear energy is clean energy, comma, there are problems associated with its use. Another way of introducing contrast. For more practice of these types of linkers, Mariana's posting the link for you now in the chat box. So my advice, as well as your homework, where you're going to look up the public band descriptors and identify what's required for your band, is to also do a bit of grammar practice, a bit of work on your cohesive devices. But we're going to do one more practice before we move on today. Again, this is from a completely different essay. Just read the first sentence. Do not give me any answers. Read the first sentence, the topic sentence, and tell me, what is the essay about? Reading the topic sentence, what is the essay about? It's a wee bit more than just learning English, a bit more than just learning English. Read the whole sentence. Be careful, be specific. Well done, Sophia. That's it. It's learning English where? Yes, specifically, it's about learning English in an English-speaking country. Now, this is the second main body paragraph. What do you think the first main body paragraph was about? Good, Larsa. So this is the second main body paragraph. There are obvious advantages. So I think it's safe to assume that the first main body paragraph was the disadvantages, right? Another viewpoint, a contrasting viewpoint. So what could we use as our starting word? What could we use as the first word of our topic sentence to contrast these two paragraphs, to introduce the contrast? Very good. You've already used it today. Of course, we're beginning with however. So we're introducing a contrasting idea. Then we begin to give our reasons. So what linking word, what cohesive device could we use as we begin to give our reasons? Well done. And I'm also really pleased to see you paying attention to the punctuation here. So firstly, there are opportunities to practice listening to and speaking in English every day. What could we use at this new sentence to add further information? To add another sort of advantage. Very good. Yep, a lot of you have the exact same as me. Furthermore or also. Let's choose furthermore for now. So furthermore, students can experience the culture firsthand. How can we connect this idea to the next, sorry, I nearly gave it away. How can we connect this idea to the explanation of it? Yes, I think I gave it away. I spoke too quickly, didn't I? Which is a huge advantage when trying to understand a language. And to add more detail again, so for number 5, what can we use to add more detail? No, we're not talking about the effects yet. We're not talking about consequences. We're just adding further detail. Yeah, so also furthermore, if students are taking language lessons at school, the teachers will be native speakers. And if we want to describe the impact of that, the effect of that, what could it be? We want to describe the impact, the effect, the consequence. Absolutely. Consequently, not only will students' speaking and listening skills improve, what do we use with not only? Well done, Camila, Roland, but they will also be able to improve their pronunciation and develop their grammar and vocabulary. What could we use to introduce our final point? Our final point, lastly, very good, being in an English-speaking environment forces us to use the language. Something survive in order to survive. Wrapping everything up, we use the word this. What does this refer to in this sentence? What's it referring to? Maybe not the whole paragraph, but certainly the previous sentence. This basic need. It refers to the need that we've got described in the previous sentence, the need for survival. So the use of the word this is what we call referencing or substitution, where in order to avoid repeating language or repeating phrases, we use something in its place. So we're going to finish with a bit of practice of that. The word they, it's here in blue. What's this referring to? What does it refer back to? Tell me in the chat box. Remember, you're looking for a plural. Yep, so it refers back to the Palm Islands. Absolutely. And what about this? It. What's that referring to? What's it referring back to? Palmdera. So this is what we mean by referencing and substitution, to avoid repetition. So we finish our essay with a conclusion. Are we adding in any more new arguments here, any new viewpoints, any new ideas in a conclusion? No, you're right. Our job here is to restate the key topics, the key arguments that we've made, to restate and to clarify our position, making it clear to the examiner that we've covered all parts of the task and we've included our position. We've got just under 3 minutes left, and I do want to answer a couple of your questions. So let's go through this fairly quickly. Remember to answer the right question, follow the task, brainstorm your ideas and decide on your position and plan your essay. Use paragraphs that contain clear topic sentences and a range of cohesive devices and referencing. In your conclusion, no new information, but restate your position, make it clear your own opinion. So just as a reminder, I'll keep this on the screen while I head over to the Q&A. And, Viola's asking, isn't it too repetitive if you've already stated everything you're going to talk about in the introduction? No, Viola, because you've stated it, but you haven't discussed it yet. You've stated what you're going to talk about. The purpose of the main body paragraphs is then to expand on those points. It's no longer just listing ideas. It's presenting the argument, presenting a reason for that, providing examples for it. Madiha says, if there are two sides, like in the example, can we write the essay in a neutral way? Yes, you can. And I think you need to be careful. A position doesn't mean yes, no. A position is your opinion on the topic. As long as you're clear about that, and my advice is look again when you get the recording to my example today. Look at the introduction, my thesis statement in the introduction, and again, my thesis statement, how I rephrase it in the conclusion. Because I think you'll see that I'm not quite neutral, but I'm not 100% yes or 100% no. So read it again. Okay, just a reminder of the self-study pack. This is what you can expect to find there. Mariana's has posted the link in the chat box for you to follow. Make sure that you do sign up for the pack. Thanks, Suha, for the feedback on keeping the chat box open. I think we'll go ahead and keep it closed from now on. But remember, we will always see anything you write in the chat box. Okay, so our resources coming up for you now in the chat. First of all, remember to come to takeielts.org. That is our site where you'll find access to all of the following resources, as well as information about upcoming webinars. You'll also find more information on the Take IELTS official Facebook page. Every Friday, you have the chance to ask questions of the experts there. The free familiarisation of the on-computer for you to get familiar with sitting the test on computer and the functions that are available for you there. Road to IELTS, the IELTS Prep app, both contain hints and tips as well as interactive activities for you to improve on your IELTS. Books and study guides for official IELTS practice materials are available through our website again. And finally, just a reminder, today we showed you a link from Learn English to help you with cohesive devices for contrast. Do try that activity out, but look at what else is available on Learn English to help you with your grammar and vocabulary, as well as practicing the skills. Thank you so much for your lovely feedback. Benaz, keep coming back. That's great that we're just helping you with what you already know. Keep coming back every week. You will find something useful in each of these webinars. It's been lovely spending this hour with you today. If you've got your test coming up in the next 7 days, good luck with your test. If not, we'll see you same time, same place next week. Thanks so much, Eunice. Bye.
Recording stopped.